I want to tell you about a couple I came across while reading up on this story. She's in her early 70s, he's a little older, and between Social Security, a small pension, and whatever's left of their savings, they're living the way a whole lot of you are, carefully. Both of them have struggled with their weight for years, and both of them had started paying for a weight loss medication out of their own pocket. Somewhere around $200 a month each. Some months, that meant choosing between that prescription and something else that mattered. Then July 1st came around, and for the first time in the 61-year history of Medicare, 61 years, folks, since 1965, the program started covering weight loss drugs. No diabetes required. No other condition required. Just the weight itself, if you meet the criteria. That couple is now looking at $50 a month each instead of $200. That's real money going back into their pocket instead of out of it. Now, before you get too excited, this doesn't apply to everybody, and there are some very specific rules. The kind where getting one detail wrong means you show up at the pharmacy and get turned away, confused, for no good reason. So let's slow down and go through this together piece by piece, so that doesn't happen to you. And one thing right up front, because I don't want to waste your time, if you already take Ozempic or Wegovy or something similar for diabetes, or for your heart, or for sleep apnea, you might already be covered through your regular plan, and this particular program isn't the one you need. Stick around anyway though, because I'll tell you exactly where you do fit in a minute. Let me just sit with this for a second, because I don't think people are grasping how big a deal this actually is. 61 years, since Lyndon Johnson signed Medicare into law, if you wanted help losing weight and you didn't already have diabetes or some other qualifying condition, Medicare would not lift a finger to help you pay for it. Period. End of story. Didn't matter how much it would have helped your knees, your heart, your blood pressure, your whole life. That wall came down 12 days ago. And here's the part that gets me. There's an estimated 3.8 million people on Medicare right now who could qualify for this, and most of them have no idea it exists. Nobody sent a letter. Nobody called. It just quietly went live on July 1st. And unless you happen to catch the right headline, you'd never know your world just changed. So let's talk about what's actually covered, because this trips people up fast. 3 medications, that's it. Wegovy, you can get that as the weekly injection, or now as a daily pill. Both are in. Zepbound. But listen close here, because this is where folks get burned. Only the quick pen. Not the single-dose pen, not the vial. If your prescription is for anything other than the quick pen, it is not covered under this program. And Foundayo, the newer daily tablet. That's your list. 3 drugs, specific forms only. Now, what's not on that list? Ozempic, Mounjaro, Rybelsus. And I want to be real clear, because I don't want anybody thinking Medicare turned its back on those. It didn't. Those are still covered, same as always, through your regular Part D plan if you've got diabetes. They're just not part of this particular program, because they don't need to be. They already have a way in. All right, before we go further, I want to hear from you, because this only works if we're actually talking, not me, just going on and on at a camera. Down in the comments, tell me straight, have you been paying out of pocket for one of these 3 drugs, Wegovy, Zepbound, or Foundayo? Just drop the name and what you've been paying. I read every single one, and it helps me know exactly who's out there watching. And listen, while you're down there typing, go ahead and tap that like button too. I know I ask, but here's the honest truth. This platform doesn't hand videos like this to many people unless folks show it some love first. Like takes you 1 second, and it might be the difference between some other senior finding this video or never seeing it at all. And if this is useful to you, hit subscribe now, because I promise you, there's more coming on this. The story's not finished, not by a long shot. Now let's get into who actually qualifies, because I want to walk you through this the right way. Not the simplified version floating around some of these other channels, but the actual rule, straight from Medicare's own fact sheet. There's 3 separate ways in, based on your BMI and your health. Way number 1, if your BMI is 35 or higher, you're in, full stop, as long as you don't have one of the excluded conditions I'll get to in a second. Way number 2, if your BMI is 30 or higher, and you've also got certain kinds of heart failure or high blood pressure that's genuinely hard to control, or chronic kidney disease at a certain stage, you may also qualify. And way number 3, if your BMI is 27 or higher, and you've had prediabetes, or you've had a heart attack, a stroke, or blocked arteries in your legs or arms, that opens the door too. Now, if you don't know your BMI off the top of your head, that's completely normal. Nobody walks around with that memorized. Ask your doctor. They calculate it in about 10 seconds from your height and weight, and that number is the whole ballgame here. Now, here's the flip side, and this is where I really need you paying attention, because it confused a lot of people in the first week. You do not qualify for this specific program if you already have type 2 diabetes, or moderate to severe sleep apnea, or fatty liver disease. Now, don't panic if that's you. It doesn't mean the door is shut. It means a different door might already be open. If you've got any of those conditions, your regular Part D plan may already cover one of these drugs for you through the normal channel, which actually has an advantage. That copay counts toward your yearly deductible and your out-of-pocket cap, where this new $50 program does not. So call your plan, tell them what you take and why, and let them tell you which lane you're actually supposed to be driving in. And here's something I really want you to sit with, because your first instinct when you hear $50 is going to be, that's amazing, and it is. But I need to hand you the full picture, warts and all. That $50 does not count toward your Part D deductible. It does not count towards your $2,100 yearly out-of-pocket cap. This program runs completely outside the normal system. It's its own separate lane, off to the side. And if you get extra help, the assistance program for folks on lower incomes, I've got to be straight with you, it does not apply here. You still pay the full $50. For somebody living on $900 a month in SSI, $50 every single month, on top of everything else, on top of rent, on top of groceries, that's not nothing. I'm not telling you this to talk you out of it. I'm telling you because you deserve to walk into that decision with your eyes wide open, not surprised 3 months in. So how does this actually work step by step, the way I'd explain it sitting across the table from you? First, talk to your doctor. Tell them you heard about the Medicare GLP-1 Bridge, and you want to know if your BMI and your health history put you in one of those 3 qualifying groups. Second, if they think you qualify, they send the prescription to the pharmacy, and separately, they submit a request to a central Medicare processor for approval. This is different from how your regular prescriptions usually work, so don't be surprised if it takes an extra step or two. Third, your pharmacy may call you asking for your Medicare number off your card. If you don't have your card handy, don't panic. The pharmacist can actually look you up using the last 4 digits of your Social Security number instead. Fourth, once Medicare approves it, you'll get a letter confirming your medicine is covered, and you pick it up at the pharmacy for that flat $50. Now, I gotta give you a real warning here, because this already happened to people in the first 2 weeks, and I don't want it happening to you. Some pharmacies, by accident, not out of any bad intention, ran the very first prescriptions through the regular old Part D system instead of this new Bridge program, and the claim got rejected. If you go to pick up your medication and get told it's denied, don't just walk away confused. Ask them directly. Did you submit this through the Medicare GLP-1 Bridge program specifically? That one sentence, that one question, has already unstuck people who thought they'd been turned down for good. Let me ask you something else while we're here, because I think it matters. If you just heard those 3 eligibility categories and thought, even for a second, wait, that might actually be me, say so down in the comments. Just, that's me, is enough. I want to know how many of you this is really touching, because if the number's as big as 3.8 million, I suspect a whole lot of you are sitting there right now doing the math in your head for the first time. Now, here's the piece almost nobody's talking about yet, and it's the reason I felt like I had to make this video instead of just handing you a checklist and calling it a day. This program has an end date, December 31st, 2027. 18 months from launch. There was supposed to be a bigger, longer-term program lined up to take its place, something called Balance. But back in April, Medicare pushed that off indefinitely, at least as far as your Part D drug plan goes. It's actually running over in Medicaid right now, but not here, not yet, maybe not at all. And here's the honest, sometimes hard truth about these medications. Most of the research out there shows that folks who stop taking a GLP-1 drug tend to regain the weight they lost, often within months of stopping. So somebody who starts this July is looking at about 18 months of real results, genuine, meaningful results, with no guarantee of what happens on the other side of December 2027. I'm not telling you this to scare you off. 18 months of real health improvement is not nothing. For a lot of folks, it could change how they walk, how they sleep, how their heart holds up. But I want you going into your doctor's office with the full picture, not just the shiny $50 number. Ask your doctor not just, should I start this, but what's our plan if the coverage runs out at the end of 2027? That question alone puts you 2 steps ahead of most people starting this program right now. So here's where I need you one more time, because we're heading toward the end here, and I want this to actually go somewhere for you, not just live in your head for an afternoon. If you've been putting off calling your doctor about something, anything, really, not just this, let this be the nudge. Comment down below with just one word. Calling. That's it. Just tell me you're going to make that call this week. I like seeing it, and honestly, so does everybody else scrolling through these comments looking for a little push of their own. And if you're not already subscribed with that bell turned on, this is exactly the kind of thing that bell is for. Programs like this one launch quietly. 12 days can go by before most people even hear about it. And I don't want you finding out about your own money 3 months late from some other channel. Turn the bell on, and you hear it from me, early, plain English, no spin. Let's bring this all together, because you've got a lot to carry out of here. 3 drugs are covered: Wegovy, Zepbound Quick Pen Only, and Foundayo, for a flat $50 a month. You qualify through one of 3 doors: a BMI of 35 or higher on its own, a BMI of 30 or higher with certain heart or kidney conditions, or a BMI of 27 or higher with prediabetes, or a history of heart attack, stroke, or blocked arteries. If you've got diabetes, sleep apnea, or fatty liver disease, this specific door isn't yours, but your regular plan might already have you covered. Ask. The $50 doesn't count toward your deductible or your yearly cap, and extra help doesn't apply here. And the whole thing runs out December 31st, 2027, with no guarantee of what comes next. Your very next move is simple. Call your doctor this week, ask about the Bridge program by name, and find out exactly which door, if any, you walk through. And hey, before you click away, if today's video got you thinking about money, Medicare, or Social Security might already owe you, I did some real digging a little while back into another situation just like that, about widows and public servants who are owed thousands of dollars they never even applied for. That video's sitting right above me on your screen. Go tap on it, because that one might matter to you or somebody you love even more than this one does.